next recipe is a fake cottage cheese. It's a substitute cottage cheese. And it's a very, very simple recipe. I have already drained this is a 14-ounce tofu block.
It's 14 ounces?
Mm-hmm. Just you go in the store and you buy a block of firm tofu. Firm tofu. And I always rinse it off before I use it. And I break it up a little bit, and I simply use a potato masher.
Oh, that's good to know.
And mash it up to the consistency that I want it, so that it looks like cottage cheese. And it's real easy.
That's one block of tofu, right?
Firm tofu.
Firm tofu.
Firm tofu.
Any kind, huh?
Any kind, except there's one kind of tofu that doesn't work for this recipe.
That's all right.
And it's called Azumata. And you see that in a lot of stores.
So this one that you use, which one is that one?
This is the 365 organic. I always buy organic tofu.
Where'd you get that at?
I get it at I got at Whole Foods.
Okay.
They have all the three.
What did you say that was?
It's 14. It can be 14 to 16 ounces, okay, depending on what size your package is.
Good.
You drain the water off first. You rinse it, and then you put it in your bowl and mash it. This is a nice recipe that I got from a friend over the internet, and I like it almost exclusively.
That's not Weimar's one, right?
It's not Weimar's recipe.
Will it still be vegan when you get done with it?
It's still vegan, yes. There, that's about the consistency that you want. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
I'm done with the potato masher. And I'm going to use, let's see, it's a 1 teaspoon of salt, and you have to use Bill's Best lemon powder, lemon juice powder. You cannot use the liquid lemon juice. You have to use the powder. Otherwise,
what's it called?
It's Bill's Best lemon juice powder, and you can get that at Weimar.
What's it called?
Bill's Best. Bill, as in
name.
Yeah, the name Bill. Bill's Best is the brand, and it's lemon juice powder. Weimar store carries it. And you can put 1 teaspoon or 2 teaspoons in here. I usually put 2, or maybe just a scamp 2.
What does that do for it?
It's kind of like a reagent. It works with the salt to create the cottage cheese flavor, like real cottage cheese almost. So I put a little less than the 2 teaspoons usually. It depends on how big your block of tofu is, I guess. Makes a difference. And the last ingredient is the 3/4 of a cup of Vegenaise. So I'm going to again use the Vegenaise in the cottage cheese.
This is 3/4 of a cup.
3/4 of a cup. You can use a little more or a little less depending on how creamy you like it to be. I like it nice and creamy.
The more creamy, the bigger the more mayonnaise.
Yeah, the more mayonnaise you use, the more creamy it will be.
But it calls for 3/4 of a cup.
Yeah, that's the standard amount for the recipe. Now sometimes I'll just put half a cup.
Now you got that big Vegenaise at Whole Foods?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've gotten it at my Nob Hill store. And sometimes Safeway will have it, and sometimes they won't.
Is that a quart?
It's a quart jar, yeah.
It looks pretty big.
Yeah. I like the bigger jar because I use it a lot.
Yeah, with those two recipes themselves, that looks really good. The fake tuna.
Doesn't it? It looks almost like real tuna, doesn't it?
And that mayonnaise, I mean that cottage cheese is really good. Now how many days will that hold in the refrigerator?
I have kept this cottage cheese for a couple of weeks, and it's good.
Is that right?
Yes. Let's see, this is the quarter cup, so it makes it 3/4 of a cup.
What is that?
This is the other. I put a 1/2 cup in, and I have a 1/4 cup to make it 3/4 of a cup. I'm getting to the bottom of my jar, so. There we go. And that is all the ingredients you have. Just 4 ingredients in this recipe. So it's really not hard to put together. And then you mix it all up really good. And it's best if you let it sit overnight before you eat it, so that the flavors can blend together. Now this is...
Should you leave it open like that in the refrigerator, or you cover it with...
I put it in a closed container, or I put saran wrap over it if I have it in an open bowl.
This is your own, a friend of yours who gave this to you, right?
Yes.
And all you do is mix it with a spoon.
That's all there is to it after you've mashed it with a potato masher. And that is your cottage cheese.
Wait a minute.
Can you see it okay?
Yeah, it looks, can you bring it closer? Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Yeah, it looks good. All right, thank you.
And